One of our clients, IPW, has been tokenizing patents. They're actually going live next month with 1 million patents, and they're going to be scaling that up to 25 million. Starting off, with proving the ownership of these repositories of patents and then enabling the trading and licensing of them.
Hey, what's up guys? Kevin Cage here with another crypto update. In today's video, we're going to dive into HBAR and Casper. So first up, looking at the HBAR price chart on the daily time frame. Last week, we were expecting HBAR to finally hit this 500-day MA towards 7 cents, and we finally got that move today. And over the past 3 days, wick to wick, HBAR actually moved about 36%, just shy of 7.6 cents, and coming back down currently. And there's been tons of great news in the Hedera ecosystem, such as Drop, which is built on Hedera, and they're actually a service provider for FedNow, along with an API that connects Hedera to the MasterCard network and soon the MasterCard Payment Gateway service. And taking a look at the weekly price chart for Hedera, there's a variety of SIBIs and sell-side imbalances, so these purple rectangles are open fair value gaps on the weekly time frame. And not financial advice, but I believe that Hedera smashes through these levels in due time as soon as we can get necessary volume to break out of this accumulation down here. And these levels range from 11 to 12 cents, 15 to 18 cents, and 20 to 23 cents. We also have an open liquidity gap between 42 to 43 cents for HBAR, and if we draw a Fibonacci retracement from the all-time high to the recent cycle low and drag all the way over, that open liquidity gap is actually very close to the 702 Fibonacci retracement. But overall, this box right here, we are still in accumulation on the weekly time frame. We're waiting for volume to turn up. We're waiting for the RSI momentum to start climbing and potentially get into some exciting territory and overbought, where a variety of assets can then fly, just like we saw last cycle. So we have the HBAR weekly price chart right here, and the RSI is currently just under 60. Notice that XDC absolutely rocketed and actually went into overbought. Almost moved 200%, so let's say just about 195, 197% wick to wick. XRP also resulted in overbought, resulting in a very nice move, and that was timed with the good news from the court case. XLM on the weekly also moved about 100%, going into overbought. We had FET when it did this 1000% move. And same thing for Injective, as we pierced into overbought. That does not mean the price is going to flip right away. It means momentum is at an all-time high, so we can get some good volatility. You can see moving another 160, 170%. So of course, that's my dream scenario, is for RSI for a variety of assets to actually reach higher levels like a variety of alts have already done. So overall, looking at HBAR, it is some of the most legitimate enterprise partners in the space. The governing council is massive. There's still 9 or 10 spots available, and people are concerned about the total supply of HBAR with 50 billion tokens. Can HBAR hit $1? Can it hit $2 with that large of a supply? In looking at HBAR circulating supply today, 32.9 billion or almost 33 billion tokens. Remember that ADA during the bull run last cycle, one of the top performing alts, reached a $99 billion market cap with a 32 billion circulating supply with an all-time high price of $3.10. So bottom line, anything is possible in crypto, even if we consider the max supply of 50 billion in the future. Can HBAR reach a $50 billion market cap someday? I absolutely believe HBAR has that potential for a $50 billion, even $100 billion market cap someday. The crypto asset class is at $1 trillion. The all-time high was $3 trillion. If this asset class goes to $5 trillion, $8 trillion, or $10 trillion plus in total in the future, absolutely. And just thinking about what we've seen in the past thus far, Bitcoin's market cap surpassed 1 trillion, Ethereum's market cap surpassed 500 billion or half a trillion. Is it possible in the future, if Ethereum goes to a $1 trillion market cap, there will be other alts in the top 10, top 20 that could have 50, 100, or $200 billion market caps? Absolutely. Is Hedera's mainnet transactions have surpassed 7.5 billion. And it's crazy to think, since the all-time high price for Hedera around 57 to 58 cents, it has been roughly 700 days. I think the bear market is affecting a lot of people, and without a doubt, this is the hardest bear market I've ever experienced. And I believe HBAR deserves to be a top 10, at the very least, a top 20 project over the coming years. Yet Solana, their network goes down multiple times per year. They reached a $75 billion market cap. If HBAR hit that all-time high market cap that Solana hit, that would be about $2.20. And the question we're asking ourselves is ADA's all-time high market cap, Solana's all-time high market cap, Doge's all-time high market cap. They were crazy high valuations without actual utility whatsoever. There was not regulatory clarity. There were not enterprise use cases being used at scale, which are one of the largest markets in the world. So if we do get actual adoption, more transactions, tons of volume, anything is possible. And at the same time, I understand anybody's cynicism. This bear market has been absolutely brutal. There's been a variety of assets that have reached the weekly pivot. That would be about 14 cents for HBAR. Other alts like XTC wicked all the way up to the R1. That would be 25 cents for HBAR. And I try to take that level with a grain of salt because the supply has also increased differently than some other alts. But bottom line, whether we're looking for a market retracement, come back down, or a push to an all-time high price, we want to see the weekly RSI go all the way up. We want that momentum at an all-time high, and HBAR still has room to run. And same thing for the Casper price chart. It's not even listed on Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini. When the weekly RSI and momentum turns up, it has plenty of room to run, and we're actually all the way down to about 43, 44 today. Notice Casper reached the weekly pivot perfectly, but we came right back down. Injective also hit that pivot, as you can see candle bodies closing on this level, coming back down, and then finally got that volume. Coming all the way up to the R1 as well as R2, this double top, and that's exactly what XRP did when it wicked and did that 100% move over 90 cents. So I'm a huge believer in both Casper and HBAR. They are working with Hyperledger and their frameworks. They have enterprise partners. They have dozens of engineers, real funding, all things I want to see for an actual project to not just survive but thrive in the future. And for anybody new, we've talked about this before, but in terms of Casper, let's use its total supply instead of its circulating supply. 11.9 billion. HBAR's circulating supply, almost 33 billion, is 2.75 times larger than Casper's supply today. For Casper's total supply to even reach that of HBAR's today, that would take 13 years. So for example, for HBAR to hit $1 today, its market cap needs to be close to $33 billion. Whereas for Casper, instead of 33 billion, it only needs to be just over 11 billion. And as we explained in previous videos, assets in the top 20 had market caps of 10 billion to 20 billion plus. So if you believe Bitcoin creates a new all-time high price surpassing that 69K all-time high at the end of this year, next year, or even in the next couple years, I strongly believe a lot of alts in the top 20 are going to surpass 10, 20, maybe even $30 billion market caps. But okay, let's speed through some additional news between Casper and HBAR. So first up, this podcast, highly recommend it if you hold Casper and you want to get an update from Neve. This lady is an absolute boss, and her background is super impressive. Just going over that IPW supposedly next month will mint the first 1 million patents, a total of 25 million patents. So fingers crossed it happens sooner than later. I thought this was going to take place in July, and we just keep waiting. And it's not up to Casper Labs, it's up to the partner IPW for their own deployment, and it's their own intellectual property or patent repository, so it's up to the partner to launch the solution. Now we know this is the largest enterprise blockchain deployment on a public chain in history, and this is occurring on Casper's public network, which is a huge deal. In previous videos, we showed the CEO of Casper Labs emphasizing this, and total value of intellectual property is $7 to $10 billion coming on Casper's public network, with intellectual property from companies including Nike, Toshiba, and Koch Industries. So IPW along with Casper Labs announced the largest enterprise blockchain deployment in history. If you listen to some of his interviews, he said they had to emphasize that they get this right, they take it slowly, and that IPW is properly prepared. You can go to this website, scansper.com, right up here, and as you see right here, follow the largest enterprise blockchain deployment in history, click follow. And these were some of the tests, 145 patents minted out of 25 million, but the new patents are going to be using the new CEP or Casper NFT Standard 78. So this page will automatically update when the mint starts. So I keep tabs on this page. You can also look at Casper Live and look at the Block Explorer if you can see any interesting mints. We can also see that Casper was listed on CoinRabbit this month, and Casper Labs was identified as a sample vendor in the Gartner Hype Cycle for open source software of 2023. And I encourage anybody curious to go to casperlabs.io and just look at the team and understand how many engineers they have. Right here, they have 39 full-time engineers on this page. There are probably a couple dozen projects in the top 50 that have nowhere near 39 to 40 plus full-time engineers. You can go through business development, project management, etc., and even looking at this gentleman Joel for business development. He was head of the digital transformation of Digital Village for smart cities over at Cisco in Switzerland, with 15 years experience in smart cities, digital transformation, and IoT. So these are the things I'm considering when we know these smart cities being built in Bangalore. We know Chengdu Chain with BSN and Casper Labs. We know Casper Network was the first network to mint an NFT from space in tandem with WiseKey or WiseSat and SpaceX. And you have huge organizations like Siemens with over a $100 billion market cap, where we have Tobias from Siemens at Davos saying, I think Casper is well prepared for being a solution provider to large enterprises. And Siemens is a gigantic company. They're looking at DLT right here, in the public sector in Switzerland, Siemens real-world DLT projects. They sit on Hyperledger's foundation and the Linux Foundation with Casper Labs. And Casper Labs is based in Switzerland, where they're looking at this in the public sector. Casper Labs is partnered with OpenEXO, and Siemens is a major client. And Quest Global is another huge organization in 17 countries with 67 global delivery centers. And regarding Quest Global, they're looking at blockchain-based supply chain management, blockchain-based asset management, and blockchain-based energy trading solutions that will facilitate the trading of energy between different parties. And last month, the Digital Securities and Tokenization Conference 2023 in Frankfurt, we have Siemens and we have Nucleus Finance. This is Ralph. He sits on the board of Casper Association. And of course, Nucleus Finance is huge for the tokenization of financial contracts. And right on nucleusfinance.com with the Actus standard, you can see this is actually built on Casper. Nucleus Finance is built on Casper. And they're also partnered with WM Datenservice in Germany, the central authority and data provider for the global financial market. Back in October, Casper Network also announced the Siemens Tech for Sustainability initiative. And Siemens has worked with other DLTs. They worked with Matic for bond tokenization. As you can see, the first digital bond on blockchain, over 60 million euros. And Siemens also introduced a blockchain-based energy project for optimized electricity trading. And this blockchain technology picture is right on Siemens' website. And they also joined the Energy Web Foundation, so I'm a huge believer that Siemens is likely working with Casper, or will be in the future, since they've already spoken side by side at Davos, at the Tokenization 2023 event in Frankfurt, all types of connections. And Siemens is Germany's patent champion. The #1 in Germany, #6 overall in the European Patent Office's patent rankings. And here's Siemens' energy patent portfolio. So of course I said let's hope Siemens uses IPW in the future. And just to finish up a few last important points, Hedera has officially joined Blockchain for Europe. We know the HBAR Foundation has invested over $400 million into the Hedera ecosystem. And they're also introducing Hedera benefits for Google Cloud's new Web3 startup program. You can see Hashport being covered right here for bridging utility with the core function of facilitating the movement of digital assets between blockchain networks in the open source Hedera public ledger. This is an awesome clip shared by the HBAR Foundation, the CEO of Drop, the company that is built on Hedera and named as a service provider for FedNow in their instant payments. Drop enables micropayments for small value transactions in both HBAR USD and USDC. Drop also enables the storing, trading, and transferring of NFTs, as well as viewing NFT transaction history and details and associated fees. 3 to 5 seconds in terms of settlement time and 10,000 transactions per second. And remember, David Schwartz, the CTO of Ripple, said micropayments could be one of the largest use cases, and he's actually very excited for micropayments, microlending, all types of applications. As you can see, HBAR with predictable fees, 1/10 of a cent. So the fact that we're seeing FedNow adding service providers that are specifically built on public DLT networks is a big deal for the future, and showing the importance of micropayments and showing that DLT can help. And shared by Zepsi, emphasizing FedNow was developed by the Federal Reserve. Right here we have Jim sharing HCS. This is the Hedera consensus service, and this was uploaded, I believe, just the other day on Hedera's channel. Leveraging Hedera's public network to anchor legacy data transactions, so we can see the private network actually being connected to the public chain. So the private network can keep sensitive information or anything for compliance and HIPAA compliance private, but still send specific messages to Hedera's mainnet. In the enterprise space, we are going to see so many examples of Hedera, Casper Network, and many other networks connecting to private networks like this. You have a second audit trail to prove that your private chain or private instance wasn't tampered with. You have better transparency, better liquidity, etc. It will finish up with this great post shared by Wade Teamer, sharing FedNow adding Drop to the list of service providers. And as he says, this means banks in the United States looking for micropayment services can now use Hedera's tech. This enables real-time payments through FedNow, processes customers' credit transfers, and handles incoming payments. Drop will connect to the network through the financial institutions that become Drop customers. A massive thank you for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll catch you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, I'd greatly appreciate if you could hit the like button, let me know your thoughts down below, and my link tree is linked in the top of this YouTube video description, with all links, crypto resources, and discounts. I'll catch you in the next one.